The fashion show is a really enormously popular event.
The fashion show is always the PR event, so to speak, of the auxiliary.
I was in one fashion show, were you?
A couple. I was in a couple.
I will never do that.
Not that I'm tall and statuesque, but I was in a couple.
Yeah, they didn't get me in those fancy dresses, that's for sure.
Oh no, I always was covered up.
I remember modeling in it with an evening gown.
Yes, I was involved in the fashion show and I modeled in it several times. Yeah, it was fun.
The first one I did was with Wilkes Bashford, who is a haberdasher in the city and a good friend of mine. And he said he would do it as long as he could have his own models. I said, okay, great. And have a trio playing, okay. And, you know, a couple of other little things, but Wilkes knew how fashion shows worked and he was just amazing. And I didn't really do that much except for, you know, spread the word that he was coming with his models. The second one I did with Wilkes, he had the men at the end in the grand finale take off their shirts. And you should have heard this place. It just, standing ovation. The women were really happy with that, so it was memorable. I was a little worried, actually.
We had Helen Lyle then, and that goes back a long time for her. And it was very formal, and we did it in the dining room, and we had the runway and the catwalk and all that in there.
Helen Lyle was, I think she was at St. Francis, and somebody suggested, why don't we do a fashion show? We'll get Helen over here. Everybody seemed to like the idea, and she was amazing.
She continued on for many years. It was just this past year where they had Banana Republic and Helen didn't do it after retired finally. I mean, she's just a lovely lady, and we were very lucky to have her all those years.
Ah, the fashion show. The fashion show didn't happen my year, so that's kind of funny, we ask. No fashion show my year, it was canceled, like many of the events.
I think our fashion show that year, in 2021, was fabulous. So it was still in COVID. We had to be very careful about what we did as far as the models changing upstairs in the bridge room, because the Cove House was brand new at that point, of course. We had a wonderful designer on our team that made these beautiful, huge flowers, and so it was colorful. We could have the butterflies draping from the inside of the Cove House, and it was vibrant and lovely, and I think everybody really enjoyed getting out and becoming part of a rebirth, so to speak.
My year in the fashion show was great. I had a really creative board, and they were just a delight to work with. In particular, Tina Setzer, she is so incredibly creative, and Tina had thought of these incredible, like, Slim Aarons photos, right? These really cool retro photos from Palm Springs, and then like skiing in the Alps and whatnot. And we used them as backdrops so people could do photos and whatnot in front of them. And then also at the event, it was the first time we did fashion illustrations, so people could stand there and we would have illustrators that sketching them that they could take them home. It was super cool.
I think we did The Way We Were. So it was a retro presentation going through the decades. So it was rather fun.
Getting new members involved in the fashion show was so much fun.
We were able to raise $1,000, which we donated to junior sailing. And then the following year's fashion show, we raised $2,000 and donated it to junior sailing.
I think one year during my presidency, we actually did the fashion show indoors in a different format that worked and didn't work. And that is another thing that we learn is, you know, we can do things and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Neiman Marcus did the fashion show in 1992. Eileen Medovich chaired that, and it was incredible. It's Neiman Marcus. I mean, it was just wonderful.